What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking? What's cracking? Back with some more, I guess you could say Larry Bird content, but Boston Celtics content. The 1985-1986 world champion Boston Celtics, the Sweet 16 when they captured their 16th championship. Absolutely destroyed the Houston Rockets, I believe, in Game 6 of the 1986 finals, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess this video is more or less a documentary either of their entire season or their playoff run. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I would love to learn more about it. So big shout out to Dutch T for this recommendation. Heads up, this video is about 1 hour long. Y'all know me, I don't break it up in parts. I like to watch these whole videos in their entirety. One video, if it's 3 hours, if it's 4 hours, if it's 5 hours, I'm here in one video. All right? Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Larry Bird playlist and our reaction video playlist for more content like this. And let's get into it.
Boston, the cradle of American independence. Yet a springtime tour of the Freedom Trail succumbs to a more patriotic city ritual.
Question on the Celtics fan.
Again, everybody, this is Johnny Most, high above courtside, here at the Boston Garden, where the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets get ready for basketball battle in game number 1 of the World Series of Basketball, the NBA Finals. And I want to tell you, both of these ball clubs are at least talk ready.
Two teams competed for basketball's greatest reward. One sought its first crown, while the other already possessed 15. Another would be a confirmation of its greatness. A glorious Sweet 16. Experience. The building block of all champions, yet the 85-86 season saw Experience challenged by the vibrancy of youth, like with Xavier McDaniel, Seattle's unanimous all-rookie forward. The bench was no place for muscular Charles Oakley, who stepped into the paint at 6'8" and made the inside game a bull market. Power basketball came special delivery to Utah as Karl the Mailman Malone ran over all obstacles. Malone's fearsome bulk contrasted with Washington's 7'7" Manute Bol. Bol reshaped the NBA skyline and became pro basketball's greatest calculated gamble.
Fun fact about Manute Bol. Actually, I have a Manute Bol video on my channel. You can search for it if you're interested. But he's from Sudan, right? Sudanese, if I'm not mistaken. They have a basically Manute Bol Day in this country that actually falls on my birthday, July 9th. So every time I have a birthday now, I know that they're celebrating Manute Bol back in his home country. That's all I want to say.
There was no risk when it came to top pick Patrick Ewing. The Knicks center lived up to his lofty reputation and surprised nearly everyone with a diversified and mature offensive game.
Patty.
Ewing enlightened New York with his Rookie of the Year performance. However, his season was cut short by agonizing ailments as he shared a stark vision of the year's most compelling story. The career-threatening injury, an athlete's darkest moment. The pain is often excruciating. The body is sent into shock, and the mind is tormented by the uncertainty of the future. Severe injuries have always been an accepted consequence of pro basketball, but never before had it claimed so many big names.
If you look at the basketball players of today, most of them can run and jump as fast or faster than any football players. And you get that type of mass going against each other, you know, something has to give sometime.
After years of productivity, many players suffer extreme depression as a career of good health is thrust into a state of helplessness.
At first, I really couldn't deal with it because I wanted to get out and play so badly. So I kind of stayed away from the team and watched them a little bit on television. And finally, I got into the situation where I could deal with it and I could come back and watch and cheer on from the bench and, you know, somewhat control myself from not wanting to play so much.
Come on, keep going. Don't go,
Pain
let's go.
was now the enemy of fallen players, hoping to atone for an instant of misfortune. The road to recovery traveled a weary path called rehabilitation.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly again. Learn to live so free. Take these broken wings.
Rehabilitation, it's a process, man.
After
Mentally
a
and physically.
64-game absence, Chicago's Michael Jordan hastened his return to play. Doubters were astonished by his opening round playoff performance against the Celtics. In Game 2, Jordan bewildered Boston to break Elgin Baylor's single-game scoring record.
Michael on the drive across the lane, turnaround shot, got it.
Tough shot.
For Jordan.
Off a broken
NBA
foot,
record
man.
has been set in the Boston
Crazy.
Garden.
I can't believe he came
For
back
3
so quickly.
games, Jordan humbled his competition, but the same couldn't be said of his teammates as Boston swept Chicago. By sidestepping Jordan's heroics, the Celtics seemed primed, but bigger challenges lay ahead.
Ooh, that boy
In Atlanta
Neek.
was an upstart team led by a budding superstar. Dominique Wilkins, the MVP runner-up and scoring champ, soared above the competition with unparalleled majesty.
I haven't quite had the sensation that he's had of getting up above the rim as high as he does, okay? I missed it by a little bit. But I would imagine that if you can do that, that it's something else being up there. And that might get me excited, okay, if I was up there.
Excitement certainly wasn't lacking with the NBA's Coach of the Year. The frenetic Fratello directed his young squad to the league's biggest turnaround and perhaps an NBA record in enthusiasm. One of his secrets was an eyeball-to-eyeball trust in 5'7" Spud Webb, basketball's
baby.
most captivating new addition. Spud took on all comers with his unequal blend of quickness and leaping ability. He was the perfect point guard for Fratello's push-it-up philosophy, and on the move, Spud was simply uncatchable.
Dude, Spud. Oh, nice move, Spud. Yo. I think me and Spud the same
Behind
height.
Spud, Atlanta beat Detroit and looked to continue their razzle-dazzle against Boston. But a stifling Celtic defense surrendered just one game and finished the series with a devastating 33-point rout.
No, I thought they performed great, the team. I really did. I was not disappointed in our performance. Listen, I love this team. They played hard, gave whatever they had. We were just a little bit short tonight.
Atlanta's setting sun radiated confidence in Boston. The playoffs were an apparent breeze, and smooth sailing continued in the Eastern Finals with 2 wins over the Milwaukee Bucks. By Game 3, the Boston Celtics were impressive winners in 9 of 10 playoff contests. Would Milwaukee be the place for a letdown? Clearly, the answer was no. The Celtics thrashed the Bucks in waves, inundating them with their brilliant team passing. Boston played with blackboard perfection and forced Milwaukee to call on the injured Sidney Moncrief. Heroically, Moncrief pioneered a Bucks rally to pull them even at 90 all. But Moncrief's effort was mirrored by Boston's own miracle worker, Larry Bird. Despite double coverage, Bird outwitted Milwaukee for the remainder of Game 3, then slammed the door in the final quarter of Game 4 with 4 three-pointers. By sweeping Milwaukee, Boston's title drive seemed as relentless as a runaway freight train. Winning became an obsession, a tribute to head coach K.C. Jones. K.C. embodied the famed Celtic dynasty with 8 NBA titles as a Boston guard. Today, he breathes that same inspiration to his players.
Winning is the real motivator. You come back out and then you squint your eyes and you get that killer look on your face because this is a game you love and you hate losing and you love winning and you want no one coming in and beating you because it's a terrible feeling if they do.
In his first year as coach, K.C. brought Boston a title and good vibrations.
You know, my friend's head coach, and it was really crazy, and it was fun because I never ever felt that I had anything to say that I couldn't say to K.C.
My favorite thing about K.C. is the person, the man off the court. He's a very unique guy.
On the eve of the NBA Finals, K.C. was resonant with the sound of success.
Growing old,
I
said the world is the same. You never change.
K.C. Jones could sing. Well, people don't, I ain't gonna say people realize, but it's kind of amazing, you know, when you start peeling back the layers on some of these NBA players, any era, the kind of talent some of these guys have outside of basketball. Singers, dancers, musicians, artists. Never know.
In the West, the question wasn't who, but when. When would the Los Angeles Lakers eliminate the competition and defend their title? After a record drubbing of San Antonio, the Lakers took on the Dallas Mavericks, a rising team whiplashed by LA's peak playoff form. With a deep lineup and eons of experience, the Lakers were too much for the Mavericks, who left the Forum with 2 agonizing losses. Motoring back to Dallas for Game 3, the Mavericks adopted LA's speedway offense, a tactic that can offer more sins than blessings. Yet Dallas remained close enough to force a decisive game-ending play.
Aguirre drives, misses it. Ball is free on the floor. Harper for 3. He got it! He got it with 3 seconds to go! Derek Harper has done it again!
Suddenly, an errant pass and a desperation shot had altered the series' complexion. Sparked by a win and boisterous hometown support, the Mavs looked to tie the series. Their charge was led by Captain Mark Aguirre. The undersized forward replaced the fast break pace with darting moves, playing the best ball of his 5-year career.
Nice turnaround.
Aguirre became the series' dominant player and put the pressure on LA in Game 4. Now it was the Lakers' turn to win on the final play.
There it is. It'll be skyhook time for the baseline. Out there, Dallas wins it.
2 climactic plays rescued the Mavs from elimination and squared the series at 2-all. Such dramatics were absent in Los Angeles as the Mavericks returned to Dallas, trailing 3 games to 2. They yearned for 2 more sensational endings, but the Lakers wrote them out of the script. By Game 6, LA's balanced attack had taken its toll on Dallas as they wearily tried to keep pace. Laker leads refused to crumble as Magic Johnson closed out the series, but victory seemed more like escape as the Lakers endured a nasty struggle en route to their 5th consecutive Western Finals. In LA, calmer waters appeared to be ahead. The Lakers confidently prepared for the Houston Rockets, a team of the future with a troubled history. 17 of their last 20 meetings belonged to the Lakers, and Game 1 offered few surprises. The Rockets fell to a spry 39-year-old Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They were also victimized by LA's fast break, arguably the most efficient in history. Lakers won convincingly and were in high gear to be the first team in 17 years to repeat as champion. One had to question the Houston Rockets' staying power.
No doubt about it, they're the world champs and they were the better ball club today. If we don't play better, this thing will be over in a hurry.
In Game 2, Fitch's worst fears were coming true as Magic Johnson fine-tuned his show-stopping act. Again, the ebb and flow was controlled by the Lakers, aggravating the pooling anger within Hakeem Olajuwon. Unmercifully, the 7-foot center vented an overwhelming display of talent.
Here comes the dream, baby.
On every rebound, on every fast break, there was no escape from Hakeem's menacing specter.
Here come the dream, baby. Give me that.
It was a tidal force that swallowed the Lakers whole as the Forum drowned in a series-tying outcome. One man, in just his second pro season, brought LA to its knees. This was second nature to the NBA's most intriguing phenomenon.
Hakeem it's not enough words in a language to describe what he can do.
Hakeem Olajuwon is singularly the most incredible athlete I've ever witnessed, read about, and seen in person.
Hakeem's great talents have afforded him a life of luxury. But unlike other NBA players, his profession came by chance. Hakeem emigrated from Lagos, Nigeria, to become a student at the University of Houston. Unexpectedly, he led the Cougars to the Final Four 3 straight years.
And when I was coming to the United States, I wasn't coming directly to play basketball because, I came here to go to school, So I bought a round-trip ticket just to come here and visit. If I like it, then I would stay. If I don't, I would go back home.
At 16 years of age, Hakeem had never touched a basketball, but his superb athletic skills encouraged special training at Houston's Fondy Rec Center.
My first year, in college, I didn't play.
That's incredible, man. Considering this guy never touched a basketball for 16 years, and then for him to get introduced to the game so late and become as polished and as skilled as he became, that's incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anybody touch a basketball so late and then blossom into such a skilled, one of the most skilled players to ever play in the history of our world. It's incredible.
And I was just trying to learn the game, learn the system. So they told me Moses Malone plays at this recreation center every summer. So this summer we're going to take you there and play against him. And by playing against Moses, you can't help it but to get better. That's what happened.
He picked up a lot of my moves and stuff. Know how to be strong going to the hole. He picked up the desire to be the best in the world. He's showing that right now.
Hakeem is already today's best young center, and his true potential may be years away. America has been a charming fairy tale for a man of impeccable charm.
Sometimes I just couldn't believe what has happened between the last 6 years to me. It was unbelievable. Sometimes it just seems like a dream, which I can't even believe is coming true.
In Houston, the biggest dream of all has been Hakeem himself, who spearheaded the drive to oust the Lakers. Game 3 in the Summit saw Houston grab a 2-1 lead as Hakeem bolstered his 31-point series average. Teammate support also revealed a lackluster LA defense. By Game 4, the high-flying Lakers were caught in a mid-air stall.
We're not attacking. We're all out of sync. We're all out of position because we're not thinking. We're not thinking at all. We're just going through the motions up and down the court. Not playing guys out here. Stay tough.
Q103.
Stay tough. That's what it's about.
Explosively, the Lakers returned to form, taking advantage of their superior quickness. They surged ahead for several second-half leads, but Houston held fast. As LA's cushion dwindled, they looked to Kareem for stability. But the eager Rockets responded by frustrating his every move. Once more, the Lakers were ambushed in Texas.
It's over. The Houston Rockets have won both games at the Summit.
Returning
Hakeem
home,
said, "Not
the
today."
Laker coaching staff scrambled for solutions. Their players tried to slumber off the effects of Hakeem the Dream and an impending nightmare. However, the Lakers refused to quit. In Game 5, their play continued to dazzle and convinced many of an extended series. Yet they could not shake off the tenacious Rockets and their final quarter run. A fourth straight Rockets win looked promising until Hakeem was ejected for fighting. This act sparked a Laker resurgence by a determined Magic Johnson. When 1 second remained in regulation, the Lakers planned on an overtime without Hakeem. But Ralph Sampson was hot down the stretch and dropped the curtain on Showtime.
1 second on the clock. Sampson. It goes. It's over.
That's how they went out? That's how they went out?
Off balance has given the Houston Rockets the Western Conference Championship.
What?
And a trip to Boston
Bro,
for the
they
NBA
just threw it up, and he
title.
was just like, I've never seen a shot. I gotta rewind that. I've never seen a shot like that.
For fighting. This act
He was
sparked a
like-
Laker resurgence by a determined Magic Johnson. When 1 second remained in regulation, the Lakers planned on
That's
an
how they
overtime
went out
without
on a
Hakeem.
shot like
But Ralph
that?
Sampson was hot down the stretch. and
Wow.
dropped the curtain
I'd
on
be big
Showtime.
mad.
1 second on the clock.
Got position.
Sampson. It goes. It's over. A miraculous shot by Ralph Sampson. Off balance has given the Houston Rockets
He never
the Western Conference
barely
Championship
did.
and a trip to
Wow.
Boston for the NBA World Title.
Wow.
It's over. Number one in the West.
Dramatically, youth defeated experience, but Bill Fitch knew of the great task that awaited in the Boston Garden.
It's a great place to visit, but it's not a great place to go and play basketball. They don't take any prisoners over there.
After a 5-year absence, the Rockets re-emerged in the NBA Finals. Once more, a championship path would lead them to the revered Boston Garden.
The Garden reeks of tradition, and you go in there, and I think not only psychs up the fans and the Celtics, but I think it also kind of makes the other players a little leery of where they're playing. And they not only have to beat the Celtics, they have to, in a way, beat the Garden jinx.
The Boston Garden is Boston Celtic basketball. That's it. You don't get better than that. I mean, where else can you go in the NBA and find anything like the Boston Garden? Nowhere.
Do not build a new garden. If you're going to build a new garden, just renovate this one. This is why we've got more flags than any other city in the country.
Okay, so it's funny he was saying that because that was something that I was talking about with myself in my head. Today, the Boston Garden, is it the same building in the same place, just renovated? Or did they tear this building down and build a new one? Let me know, you Bostonians out there.
The Boston Garden is a curious mix, void of modern conveniences, but equipped with a brash personality.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Johnny Most, high above courtside.
Houston doesn't have
the Lakers
Magic.
are not here, Magic is not here, Hakeem is, and he will do nothing.
The Garden is also humbling, as it weeps basketball's most cherished memories.
You know, I love that place, and I look at the banners each and every time, each and every game, and look at the retired numbers, and look around and see Red Auerbach sitting over there, and seeing all the other fans who have been there throughout the entire string of Celtic championships, and to realize that now I'm a part of that, and although we haven't won the championship yet, we think we're going to.
By game time, The Garden's aging frame comes alive with the throbbing pulse of its fans. Their appetite is the NBA Finals, whetted by the prospect of another title. The series began predictably. The Rockets struggled with first-game jitters and directed play to their tallest strengths. It was also no surprise that the Celtics' strategy was to do the same and attack Houston's big men.
Push! Robert, ISO, ISO, ISO.
By using a double low post, Boston muscled the ball inside. This grinding process paid off just 5 minutes into Game 1 as Ralph Sampson picked up 3 quick fouls. For the rest of the half, Sampson would watch from the sidelines. His absence erased Houston's decided height advantage as well as team stability. The Rockets pressed to pick up the tempo, hoping to catch Boston off guard. Instead, it would be the Rockets who were upended. Their quickened pace played into the hands of the Celtics, who thrived on critical matchups and Houston's overplayed defense.
That Mikal footwork. Boom,
The Celtics were in top form and showed no ill effects from an 8-day layoff.
Good move by Bird. Fighting for
almost
position.
Effortlessly, Boston opened
baby
a
hook
comfortable
there.
second quarter lead. Eleven of Boston's 15 championships began with opening game victories, and Houston looked like another victim until Akeem took command. The Houston center proved too mobile, too quick for Boston defenders. His powerful drives earned him the respect and room to unleash his tantalizing jump shot. Behind Akeem's 25 points, Houston cut the Celtics' margin to just a basket by halftime and followed through in the third quarter. Akeem grew stronger and forged Houston into the lead. The Celtics' only recourse was to attack Akeem's lone weakness.
Foul, two-shot play. 34 in the red on a push.
Akeem was charged with his fourth foul.
You fouled him.
He remained in the game, but seconds later, he'd earn a fifth. Now a different Rocket would sit on the bench, and Celtic fans were salivating. The call went out to the most notorious band of desperados in the NBA, the Celtic defense. The Celtics assumed every risk, using an assortment of traps, denying passing lanes, intimidating shots, soon forcing Houston to make their own mistakes. By the fourth quarter, Boston amassed a 15-point lead.
That's
and
a simple drill right there.
Not to ease up.
Simple fast break drill. Executed.
Bill Fitch's men were stumbling, and Danny Ainge put them on the ropes. Ainge was a mere role player when Fitch coached in Boston, but today he stands as a Celtic leader. Ainge recorded a superb second half, and fittingly, he would put Houston down for the count.
There go Bird with that magic, man. Good left. Yo, Ainge be making some tough layups.
112-100 victory demoralized the Rockets and rewarded the Celtics with some personal pride.
I feel that I didn't play very well when Bill Fitch was around. And I feel that he didn't think I was a very good player at certain times. And I want to prove to him that I can play.
Well, the thing about Danny Ainge, he matured as a basketball last year in the playoffs. He was a good player, but he wasn't really a type of player where you could depend on him every game. He was never on a consistent basis like he was this year or last year in the playoffs. We're not afraid to give the ball to Danny Ainge in any circumstances anymore.
I think when I first came here, an attitude that I had was it was almost, I felt guilty shooting the ball, being surrounded by all those all-stars and that type of attitude. I think that since then I've adjusted to take that to my advantage. I'm playing with these all-stars. I can afford to take a couple bad shots and they're going to still cover me.
Ainge became a Celtic after a brief baseball career. Now, 5 years later, he finally feels at home in Boston.
Hi, Ash. How you doing? What, am I supposed to pick all you guys up or what? Hey, Tanner.
We've got a lot of friends who are from the West that have moved out here. You get a lot of relocation, so that's nice. But I think what helps us like New England the best is that Danny's a Celtic. I mean, when you're a Celtic, you pretty much have it made.
Boston recognized Ainge as a firebrand, but his combative style prompted the visiting press to write some unflattering copy.
I get really mad. I've said, Danny, I'm calling that guy up and telling him that he can't be saying those kind of things. And Danny begs me not to.
I think sometimes things that are said on TV, it bothers Michelle because she knows me and she knows that I'm not ever going to go out and start a fight with anybody. But on the other hand, she knows that if somebody got me, I'm not gonna just back away either. I think it has more to do with my style of play. People misinterpret it as being dirty and cheap. I just think I play hard. You know, I feel that my teammates and my coaches appreciate me, and my opponents don't appreciate me, and that's okay. I mean, that's the way I want it. I don't want the players I'm playing against to play against me.
An icy indifference to the opposition has promoted Boston's winning ways, an intensity rooted in the Celtic training room.
Let the playoffs go on. Ray's tape jobs get tighter and tighter. By the last game, your foot is like in a spastic state, but you're really ready to play because it hurts so much you want to kill people. So that's really the secret. Particularly me. That's really the key to the Celtics playing very aggressive is that your feet hurt so bad from Ray. My last game was Ray so fired up. That was one of the reasons I collared Kurt Rambis. My foot hurt so bad, I couldn't help it. Kurt, I'm just kidding, babe.
Intensity also underscored Houston's game preparations. Rockets like Sampson and Olajuwon sought retribution for college careers without a title.
I went to Final Four 3 years in a row. I didn't win it. And Rob played 4 years in college. He didn't win it. So we both wanted it so bad. So we have to do whatever it takes for us to get it.
Game 2 posed a strong test to the Rockets' resolve. After a season of growth, they were in need of finding themselves in the finals. And Larry Bird was adding to the identity crisis. One Rocket missing in action had been Ralph Sampson, who began to show signs of his all-star talents. That burning emotion, intensity, was fueled by Sampson, who gave Boston their first taste of a Twin Tower offense. The Rockets began to accelerate, then got a little pedal heavy. Rocket mistakes led to a streak of frustration. Each passing error bred impatience. Houston was letting the game slip away. All they needed was a little composure. But against the Celtics, these transgressions can prove to be fatal.
Wet that.
By the third...
So, yeah, it's like, you know, sometimes you have teams, obviously, Boston Celtics here, and you look at in the current NBA years past, you can say about the Golden State Warriors, it's where they will punish you if you make mistakes. You have to keep your mistakes and your turnovers to a minimum because they will punish you and capitalize off your mistakes. There are some teams that they will just burn you every little mistake. You have to beat them.
Quarter, Houston's high expectations had gone flat. Houston's ragged execution bore little resemblance to Boston's precision attack. Their assault was anchored by an array of brilliant passing. Boston systematically found the open man and staged a poetic tribute to teamwork. In the middle of it all was Larry Bird, who tallied 31 points and several extraordinary assists. In one half, Bird and company gave the young Rockets a lifetime of experience.
Love that pass.
Houston's attempt to tie the series was a complete washout.
Good job, good effort.
Title hopes depended on a win in the Boston Garden, but instead, Houston became Boston's 40th consecutive home court victim.
I really have some compassion for our ball club because I know they want to look better. I know they can play better. And it's embarrassing to be in a championship series and have one team dominate you the way Boston dominated tonight.
Celtic domination was attributed to Larry Bird, who virtually willed the game in Boston's favor.
We got beat a number of times in the first two games after we had the home court advantage, and that just keeps on coming back in your mind. So game two was very important. When I stepped on the court that night, there's no question in my mind that if we was going to lose that basketball game, it was going to be because I lost it. I was going to take every shot that meant something. I was going to try to make every pass, and I was going to try to make every steal.
Larry kind of leads us, and it's a lot easier to play like that because you know he kind of sets the tone, and it's similar to, like, you know, a flock of geese. You know, if you have one leader, the rest of the geese kind of follow in, and Larry Bird's really our leader.
Larry, he holds down a lot of his talent to benefit the team a lot too, but if you ever see him on that night when he just feels like coming to shooting it.
Sometimes he gets in the fourth quarter and 3 or 4 minutes ago and everybody will come and say, okay, Larry, it's time to take over. You know, that's the greatest feeling in the world. Here you're playing with some of the best players in the game, and here they come to you and say, okay, it's time to take over the game. And that's a heck of a feeling.
Knowing what to do before everybody else knows what to do. And that's the type of speed he has, and that's what makes him the fastest player in the league.
There's something within me that just says, hey, if you're going to be the best, you got to work at it, and I'm not afraid to work, especially it's something I love to do.
After a third straight MVP season, Bird had his sights on another championship banner.
Larry is a great basketball player. He keeps getting better and better. And when that little picture machine starts going off, he's in a world of his own. And there isn't anybody in the world that's going to stop him. And when he gets it going like that, it's awesome.
But Houston's objective was to bury Bird, not to praise him.
If we're down 2-0, I think we can come back because we're going to play 3 games in Houston, and we're going to take it one at a time. I think we can beat them 3 straight in Houston without any question.
Houston, a city perfectly suited for its hometown Rockets. Its 150-year history bears the soul of rebellion. Its modern veneer suggests the winds of change. To be on the leading edge has always been Houston's trademark, and the NBA Finals presented a new challenge. The Rockets' 5-year plan was 2 years ahead of schedule, and they could win a title by beating the old guard at their own game. East met West, and the press prepared for basketball's summit meeting.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and the Houston Rockets look to turn the tide after 2 losses in the steamy Boston Garden.
I Houston Rockets ritornano ai confini aria condizionata del Summit di Houston, Texas.
The Rockets own the NBA's second-best home court record, and during the playoffs, they're undefeated in Houston.
The Summit is also the site of the 1981 Championship Series, in which the Boston Celtics endured 2 tough battles on their way to the NBA title.
Home court security served the Rockets from the opening tap. Houston appeared stronger and smoother than they did in the Boston Garden. Houston was now looking like the Western Conference champions. Yet the Rockets were still under the spell of Larry Bird, who kept his team within 3 points at halftime. Houston's trance then deepened in the third quarter as they hypnotically threw the ball away. As in games 1 and 2, the Rockets suffered a third quarter jinx and committed 6 consecutive turnovers.
One more time, baby, one more time.
Down by 2 games and trailing in a third, Houston's survival depended on an immediate rally. Accepting the challenge were Sampson and Olajuwon, alias the Twin Towers, the most destructive tandem in the NBA. For the first time in the finals, the Twin Towers were playing as a cohesive unit. Houston was particularly encouraged by the play of Sampson, who used his 7'4" frame to its maximum potential. With 22 rebounds and 24 points, Ralph Sampson vindicated himself from previous criticism.
24 and 22. I see you.
The craft of Boston's front line tried to defuse Tower power and hold on to its 11-point lead. But the Celtics grew cautious as passive plays initiated rocket-fast breaks like Sampson's outlet to Mitchell Wiggins.
And one.
Wiggins' late fourth quarter basket helped Houston grab a 1-point advantage and forced the Celtics to spice up their own game. The lead seesawed back to the Celtics, now less than a minute from a possible 3-game lead. But like a cornered alley cat, Houston scratched and clawed its way into the clear. Houston had the lead by the slimmest of margins and needed one more defensive stand. The Celtics spotted Robert Parrish on a mismatch, but his shot was ruled dead. No infraction was called, as play was stopped by an inadvertent whistle.
What?
A jump ball was ruled, and the tap was controlled by Sampson. Houston could now wrap things up. Yet Akeem could only convert on 1 of 2 free throws, and Boston had a 5-second chance to steal the game. But a tenacious Houston defense forced Boston into a critical mistake. Robert Parrish was lured over the sideline, thus ensuring the Rockets their first win of the series. The Rockets came through when they had to, as did their captain, Ralph Sampson.
Well, you saw, I think, probably what the world was.
Couldn't be no worse of a time to blow an inadvertent whistle by a referee in a finals game. Wow, what was the backlash for that referee in the meeting? For those of you that were around, that witnessed this, that knows this, what was the backlash towards that referee, you know, after the dust settled of this game? Regardless if, you know, because the shot went up, he missed a shot, I didn't see who got the rebound, but regardless, you don't, that is not, inadvertent whistles are bad, period, especially in these type of moments. This kind of moment. Wow.
We'll see more of as he comes of age.
Even as a schoolboy, Sampson's career was expressed in the future tense. 300 colleges saw Sampson as a building block, with Virginia coming out the winner. He'd be a 3-time Player of the Year, and the temptation to turn pro blossomed each spring.
The pressure was always the same, do you come out or do you stay? And I would always go back and I ask my mother and father, you know, do you need anything, or can we make it, or, you know, what do you think?
Even though we didn't have that much money, I said, you know, we'll manage this for, and we will continue to be okay, and you do what you want to do.
Sampson elected to savor a college career and graduate on time. Again, he became a building block, this time with the NBA Rockets. Now, with a more demanding schedule, Sampson's personal retreat is back home.
I look forward to seeing my mom and dad and sisters anytime I can when they come visit here or when I go back home. And, you know, it's a close-knit community where, you know, if I get back, everybody knows it, and I got a lot of friends there, and we all get together and talk a little bit about the season and whatever have you. And, you know, my mom expects me to come back as soon as the season's over. When you coming home, you know, when you leaving.
We treat Ralph as Ralph, not as a basketball player. When he gets back to Virginia, he will be Ralph. And even though I'm not working now, if there needs to be something done in the house, Ralph will do it just like the girls.
Sampson may be considered tomorrow's promise, but he finds contentment in today's accomplishments.
Basketball is a fun sport, and I think I've achieved a lot of things in it, and I want to achieve a lot more, and I'm having fun doing it. And as long as I'm having fun, then I'll continue to play.
The Rockets' fortunes sharply contrasted with the Houston economy. 2/3 of the oil wells were silent, and property values were withering away. These grim times found solace in Rocket Mania.
The future is here. The future is now. We're proud of Houston, and we're proud of our Rockets.
The people here in Houston are so hungry for a winner that it's just contagious.
Rockets koozies, 2 for $3.
I got 1 for 8, 2 for 16, 3 for 24. How many do you need?
Houston's hard-hit dollar was well invested in their basketball team. The Rockets were the city's best therapy to uplift sagging hopes.
Rocket Mania is crazy. I mean, everyone is thrilled to death that the Rockets are here at the championship.
It's kind of crazy that little they know in 8 years they would win a championship.
Hoping to get it, and we're right behind them.
You know, when I go to the grocery store or things like that, there's always people coming up to me saying, good job and good luck, and things like that. They're really excited and they're behind us 100%.
Beat Boston! Beat Boston! Beat Boston! Beat Boston!
Looking for a series tie, Rocket Mania thundered in Game 4. Ralph Sampson's 21 first-half points gave Houston an advantage at intermission until their customary third-quarter slide. A quick Celtic burst punctured Rocket momentum, and Houston needed to stop the leak.
Defense is a common denominator among all great players and championship teams. And if you're going to get there, defense is going to do it.
In a sport fashioned by offensive artistry, defense is a discipline of exacting measure. Mitchell Wiggins and Rodney McRae were two Rockets attuned to its rigid demands. They frustrated Celtic rhythm with unglamorous but essential play. Their timely scoring also validated Bill Fitch's master plan. Wiggins and McRae were unsung heroes, willing to stand in the shadow of the Twin Towers. Now they were the pair who revitalized the Rockets. A game of scintillating give and take was condensed into the fourth quarter. Neither team gained more than a three-point advantage as Boston stood firm by its grit and composure. Larry Bird was given the freedom to create and use his splendid court vision. He often found Robert Parrish and Dennis Johnson, who paced the Celtics scoring. Houston countered with its inside dominance, restirring the chemistry that melted the champion Lakers. Now it was being rammed down the Celtics' throats. Pressure mounted in the Summit, but Bird and Bill Walton had the antidote. Walton re-entered a tied game with 2:39 remaining and distracted Houston's bird-watching defense.
Danny into Walton. Walton holds it. Back out to Bird. Three-point attempt. Swift! A three-point field goal to Larry Bird.
A 104-101 edge made Houston think in terms of three, but a heads-up Rodney McRae pared the lead to a point. Houston threatened to tie the series.
Active on the boards.
The Rockets' job was to allow Boston just one-shot opportunities, and they failed only once.
DJ fakes, starts to go, goes driving in, lays it up, no good. Walt, a flying rebound, lays it in. What a play by Bill Walt.
He just went in there, took the ball away, and put up a reverse layup.
Time still remained for a comeback, but Houston panicked. The Rockets squandered their final 4 possessions, putting their perfect playoff home court record to rest. The 106-103 victory put Boston within a game of the title. The outcome was ensured by the hustle of Bill Walton, a resurrected player and the embodiment
of a rebound. Hell of a rebound.
I was teasing my saying, I can't believe I idolized you because I bust you every day in practice. I said, who'd you play against back then?
As a cornerstone of UCLA's championship dynasty, Bill Walton is among the greatest college players ever. He followed his predecessor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, as a franchise maker and drew attention to his colorful lifestyle. Walton brought Portland a title in 1977, and a year later was named the league's MVP.
Had a very successful collegiate career and a successful early pro career. Then all of a sudden things sort of fell apart with
injuries.
With a lot of injuries.
Walton's prime slipped by as he played just 14 games in 4 seasons. He wallowed with the last-place Clippers until a call to Red Auerbach put him back on the winning track.
I looked into his eyes, and
Can
I
you
saw
still play?
fierce pride and fierce determination.
He came in town a few days early, and the first place that he stopped was at my house. And that said a lot about the person. He wanted to make sure that I didn't feel threatened, make sure that he's going to be received very well.
Walton appears as an ideal Celtic, grateful for another chance in the finals.
From being told that I would be lucky to even walk without a limp to being back in the NBA Finals. I mean, it's just it's a tremendous accomplishment.
By Game 5, life under the microscope was beginning to show its strain.
I think the only thing I haven't been asked is I'm ready to go on vacation.
Am I having a good time?
How much did Larry Bird weigh at birth? How's my ribs? No, that's not it.
Would you like to start tonight, Greg? About probably my eyebrows or something.
Conditioned to the media circus was Bill Fitch, Houston's philosophic head coach.
Coaching is important. If I didn't feel it was important, I probably wouldn't like being a coach. But I learned a long time ago that the players and what they do together and how well they perform together, that's where the ball game is going to be won.
You know you got a 5 or a 2, so you can go into it off the dribble and you can keep the guy concentrating on you, so you got a chance to drive a little bit.
Fitch started with the expansion Cavaliers, where his workaholic habits lifted Cleveland to respectability.
You can learn from losing as well as from winning. And I've always said, though, you don't have to lose quite as often as you do with an expansion team to learn the lessons you have to learn. But Cleveland was a good experience from the standpoint of building a ball club and actually learning the ins and outs of the NBA.
In 1979, Fitch moved to Boston. He built the Celtics' current nucleus and in 2 seasons took them from the cellar to a title.
You're 1 rebound away from letting a smile on my face. I swear, if you're going to rebound, I'll smile.
If I ever have another player like Larry Bird, then how can you be so well blessed? And to have him as a friend is even a bigger blessing. And to have had Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale in their rookie years as Celtics, to have Danny Ainge come from baseball and go through what he did and watch him develop, I enjoy those things. I don't let it get in the way of the love and the attraction I have for my own ball club at this time.
But on the brink of elimination, there was no place for Celtic endearment, especially amidst the deadly stare of Boston's top assassin.
This is a voodoo thing. It's supposed to make you rich. That's why the green has to do with money.
Is that
But they dress
Gumby?
these things up. Like they could dress us up with a little gold hair and a 33 on it.
Voodoo. They want to do voodoo on Bird? the only way to stop Larry Bird. Voodoo dolls. Voodoo dolls that look like Gumby.
Lay it on him.
Stick a pin in them.
Voodoo may explain Game 5's unusual turn of events. Bird was exercised to a mortal 17 points, while Ralph Sampson played like a man possessed.
Dang.
In the second quarter,
Sit down, boy.
Sampson's wrath was fully unleashed.
Sit down.
And now Kite has grabbed Sampson from behind.
Ralph Sampson became a towering inferno and the central figure in a bench-clearing brawl. He was ejected for battling Jerry Seasting, a Boston reserve standing 15 inches shorter. Sampson's early exit looked like an ominous prelude for all the Rockets.
Or you rally.
Desperate times demand desperate measures, and Jim Peterson was the solution. Throughout the playoffs, Peterson had teamed splendidly with Akeem Olajuwon. Now he asserted himself as Houston's third tower.
Here's Peterson with the offensive rebound.
The determined Peterson threw around his bulk and undercut the Celtics with 12 rebounds. Boston's other problem came from above. They encountered a squadron of Rocket ball spotters led by Akeem's record-tying 8 block shots.
Damn, eating that.
Shorn of Sampson's might, the Rockets launched a more reckless attack. With a rejuvenated fast break, Houston grabbed control by halftime and refused to wilt in the third quarter. By opening up a 25-point lead, Houston forced Boston to surrender.
More voodoo. You're gonna need more
Boston's
voodoo.
demise most satisfied Robert Reed. 5 years ago, Reed saw the Celtics win the title on his home court, and now guaranteed there wouldn't be a repeat performance. With a 111-96 win, Reed led Houston's drive for a 6th game.
He showed us he had a lot of character. He said they had to win Game 5 down there, and we wasn't going to be partying in the arena, and he came out and had a great basketball game. They lost Ralph Sampson, there's no question. Robert Reed is really the leader of that team.
We put a banner up saying that we are Midwest Division champions. We put in a banner up saying we're Western Conference champions. And we want to put a banner up says NBA champions.
Regardless of the outcome, a title would be decided in Boston, a city that takes exception to what seems rightfully theirs.
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you about my town.
Watch this. The Rockets are going to fall tomorrow. Make it, D-Make. I love it. And Sampson, they're going to crush you. 3 for an $1 on the Celtic green lettuce here. We're going to kill Houston. Here you go. This is Ralph Sampson. Right here, big old Ralphie boy. And we got good old Akimo right here. Here you go, Akimo. It's all over, pal.
This is what the Celtics are going to do to the Houston Rockets.
Bro, I love the 80s and 90s, man.
The visiting Rockets returned to the most uncomfortable guest house in sports.
That would not be
The
allowed in
gallows
today's NBA
awaited
from a
Ralph
fan.
Sampson, the
Hanging
villain
a
of
player.
Game 5's melee. But Sampson could not allow the Garden scorn to get the best of him. Never before had he been closer to the honor of being called champion.
All the way around, okay? We'll tell the coaches about the timeouts. Any questions? Have a good one.
Sampson became the immediate prey of Kevin McHale.
I see
As
you, Kevin.
Boston's
Drop step
long-arm
finish.
gunslinger, McHale first half points and advised Houston to run for cover. However, the cold steel will of Akeem Olajuwon would not be denied. Olajuwon led an 11-point Rocket spurt, and his 3 consecutive steals suggested he had Bill Walton's number. Yet the big redhead remained in KC's lineup and flexed his veteran muscle.
Good move, Bill.
Walton helped to turn the tide for the Celtics, as did another former playoff MVP, Dennis Johnson.
Dennis. Don't be lazy on him. Work his hell hard. Now keep him from getting it, yeah.
Now Ainge is on Lloyd, and DJ on Robert Reed.
Summoning his great defensive skills, Dennis Johnson blanketed Houston's best outside threat. He dogged Robert Reed like a bloodhound and then threw him off the championship scent.
Dennis Johnson is the best basketball player I've ever played with. It's the biggest thrill I've ever had to playing with an individual, and I'm very proud to be a team member of DJ's, because he's made me a great basketball player, and it's because of the way he plays. And DJ's probably more intense about winning than I am. He just goes about it a little bit different.
Few men can match Johnson's reputation as a great money player. But with a season-long quest within reach, Boston turned to just one man to bring home the gold. Larry Bird played with extra zest, perhaps avenging last year's title loss in game number 6. He now looked to hoist another flag to the Garden's banner-studded roof.
Picks it up. Goes into three-point land. Hold up a three-pointer. He said, here, I want to put a pin in
Run all the way back to the three-point line, then drift
By the middle
on.
of the fourth quarter, Houston hadn't a chance.
They swing it around to Walton on the right side, off the glass, and shot! Bill Walton makes it a 28-point lead. Pandemonium loose in this garden. Pandemonium right now.
The game clock was of no significance as the Boston Garden bellowed a tone of finality. After posting the league's best record and a near-perfect mark at home, the basketball world was finally swathed in a cloak of green and white. The NBA could boast its most familiar announcement. The Boston Celtics were the world champions. Painfully, the young Rockets accepted the promise of tomorrow as they sat in basketball's most hallowed hall. Special tribute befitted Celtic captain Larry Bird. Not once did he falter, nor his intensity diminish. He was Boston's guiding light and the final's unanimous choice as MVP. 15 times had Celtic fans stormed the parquet floor. 15 times had they raised their fists high. But number 16 just might be the sweetest one yet.
love you so. Hey, that was cool, man. That was cool. There's some things I really didn't know happened. Shout out to the Celtics, phenomenal season. Bird led the charge and amazing contributions from all kinds of team members. I do like watching those documentaries like that really go down a detailed run of a team's playoff run. I actually have the Lakers not here back in the States. I have Lakers like Dynasty DVD, Magic Johnson, Kareem era, Kobe, Shaq era. Even got the Pau Gasol Kobe season documentary and championship documentary on DVD. But I do like going back and watching those. And it's a good DVD because it has like the documentary like this where they give you detailed information. But it also has individual games from the playoffs that you can watch in its entirety. So it's really nice. I hope my parents didn't throw that away. Anywho. Yeah, there's some crazy moments. Some of those games were really close down to the wire. Just, one or two things go differently. We might be looking at a different outcome, at least on a game-to-game basis, not necessarily a series basis. I also like how the documentary detailed what was going on the opposite side of the conference, right? It just wasn't completely Boston Celtics centric and focused, but, told the story of the other teams, how they got there to meet with the Celtics and then cover the final series. So I like it. That was very well done, man. That shot against the Lakers. Wow. But hey, thank you for the recommendation, Dutch T. Y'all let me know what you think about this one. What were your fondest memories from this Boston Celtics season as a whole and the playoffs run? We'd love to hear your opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, check out our playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.